Hello friends, I am Hebron Peters. Welcome back to part 3 of the series of 10 Lost Tribes. Hope you liked my previous videos. Kindly subscribe if you want to receive such informative videos in future. We discussed in our previous part 1 and part 2 videos that there were 12 tribes of Israel, out of which 10 tribes are missing. We discussed about the traditions of Japan, which resembles ancient Jews' traditions. Is Lemba, a tribe in South Africa and Zimbabwe, among the 10 lost tribes? What do you think? Let's recall from our part 1 video. The lost tribes were Reuben, Simeon, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Ephraim, and half of Manasseh. They were lost when the northern kingdom was sacked by Assyrian king Tiglath-Pilneser in 722 BC. According 1 Chronicles 5:26, they were deported to Hala, and Habor, and Hara, and to the river of Gozan, unto this day. The 10 tribes were lost afterwards. Isaiah chapter 11 verse 12, and he shall raise a banner to the nations, and he shall gather the lost of Israel, and the scattered ones of Judah he shall gather from the four corners of the earth. Will the prophecy of the Bible according to Isaiah 11 verse 12 be fulfilled? Tudor Parfitt, a British historian, writer, broadcaster, traveler, and adventurer. He specializes in the study of Jewish communities around the world, particularly in Africa, Asia, and the Americas. In his research he found that the Lemba tribe of southern Africa and Zimbabwe claimed to be descent from some ancient Jewish population who migrated from Yemen. Their traditions are very different from the surrounding African natives, but very much similar to ancient Israelite. According to their oral traditions, Lemba came from mysterious northern city Senna, maybe 1,000 years ago, but they do not know where exactly Senna located. Also, their forefathers were traders. In Zimbabwe they are located in Shona, which sounds similar to Sina. For Lemba people in South Africa, Senna is heaven. As per Wikipedia, Sina was a thriving Jewish city at the time of the Babylonian Empire around 500 BCE, and is believed to have been dominated by Israelites, who had fled Jerusalem during the Babylonian invasion. They crossed the Jordan into Yemen, believing they were safe in the valley in the east, crossing the Masala River. According to hydrologists, agriculture in the dry valley was only made possible by a dam. When this broke, leaving no water, the inhabitants of the city were forced to move or face starvation. People presently living in Sina are having same tribal names as Lemba clan names. But the residents of Sina are all Muslims, thus, it may possible that after Islamic invasion, those who did not want to embrace Islam might have fled towards southern Africa. They crossed the Red Sea and entered Ethiopia. From there they moved towards south. With their oral traditions they maintained their distinct culture, developed cities, and some settled down in Zimbabwe and some moved on, located themselves in South Africa. Christian missionaries tried to bring them in Christianity, but they refused, because of their orthodox nature of traditions. They circumcised their children at a very young age, and the ceremony was highly celebrated like ancient Israel. Moreover, they were monotheistic in nature, unlike other Africans. Their god's name was Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahim was maybe a distorted form of Elohim. Elohim is another name of Yahweh. The Lemba could not remember the name of their country, but they know they were masters of iron and copper smelting and working. In their country they made pots, grew and weave cotton, and were also masters of timber work, because they had to build their own ships for their maritime undertakings. All their skills are learned within the family connection, and are carried over from one generation to the next. It occurs that each clan has its own specific skills. In certain localities they had the monopoly in these crafts about the pottery of the Lemba and their copper and iron. Still, their craft skills are unique in Africa. The Lemba are also known as, among African natives, Verembo means people who refuse. Basna means people coming from Sina. Basanai means a greeting used by Lemba women. Vamwinai means foreigner, guest, Arab, or people of the light. Vihalung means Europeans, non-Negroes, or strangers. Mushabi means traders. Their music does not match with surrounding Africans. Rather much similar with Middle Eastern music. One can compare the sound of blowing ram horn. As per oral tradition that the oldest ancestor, Uba, brought the people from Israel to Yemen. This senior house ruled in Yemen. Hamisai brought them to Africa, and in Africa the house of Hamisai was succeeded by the Bakari. The Bakari were followed by Seir Main, followed by Tovakair, then by Ngavai, or Zungand, Mhani, Hadzi, and Sadiki, and finally by Sarevi and China of Hai. There were total 10 clans in Lemba tribe. Buba, Hamisai, Bakalai, Seir Main, Thafhakal, Zungand, Mange, Mhani, Haji and Sadiki. While the two latter clans Chwinyaladzi and Salfa were added in South Africa. Similar to 12 tribes of Israel, out of which 10 were lost. As per their oral tradition, the oldest ancestor, Buba, the priestly clan brought the people from Israel to the Promised Land. This senior house ruled in Yemen. The Lemba have very clear traces of Jewish religion, for example circumcision and their kosher laws, as well as very strong Armenoid race traits, meaning Greek, Middle Eastern, and Armenian. These traits can still be seen amongst some of the Lembas. They are taller than the surrounding people, have prominent noses and are having comparatively fairer skin. The oldest ancestor named Buba, which they claim may be the distorted name of Yahuda or Judah, but in Israel the priestly tribe was not Judah but was Levi. So the person name can be Judah from Levi clan. Van Wormelo, a writer, recorded that the Lemba came to Africa from a remote place on the other side of the sea, and that at different places in Africa they erected trading depots, and left some of their people behind to take charge. They did, however, keep themselves separate from the native peoples, because they felt themselves superior. Their dietary law was as per kosher rules of Jews. They slaught animals as per kashrut, halal, of Jews. They specifically refer to the practice of separating milk and meat observed in Judaism and not in Islam. The method associated with male circumcision used by the Lemba differs markedly from that of Muslims, in that the incision is small and possibly similar to the mode of circumcision practiced as in ancient Israel. According to their culture they are not supposed to marry outside their tribe, because of cultural diffusion. The Lemba do not give their daughters in marriage to any but their own people and discourage them to marry an uncircumcised person. The men should also avoid marriage with local, non-Lemba, women. This strict endogamy was the secret of their survival as a distinct people. For a woman to be accepted into the Lemba clan, she is subjected to a very strict purification ceremony where she is initiated into Lemba laws and customs. A Lemba man may marry more than one wife, and the ranking of the wives determines the succession of the children. The succession follows the father's line. The first wife whom a man married is usually the most important wife, the other wives rank as minors in order of marriage. The first wife is always consulted by her husband. There still exists among them, that ancient Israelite law, the Levirate marriage. When a brother takes two wives, wives of his deceased elder brother, and raising the offspring, they rank in office as if they were the children of the deceased. According to Lemba people, the purpose of these marriages is mainly to protect the family. The brother or closest family member who marries the widow has to look after her and her children as his own. The children from this marriage are considered as the children of the deceased and inherit from the deceased. Lembas unknowingly were following Levirate marriage. There is a Lemba saying, once we had a drum because we were a holy people. The narrative behind the story of Ngoma Lungandu and the drum beats were the emotion of the specific experience of God. Behind this, some believe that the original drum, Ngoma Lungandu, which helped them on their journey from Sina, might still be in one of the caves in Africa. The story resembles with the Ark of Covenant, where Ngoma Lungandu was only allowed to be carried by the priestly clan of Buba. Similarly, Levites were allowed to carry Ark. Size of the drum was same as the Ark as mentioned in the Bible. Y chromosomes of the Lemba is that you find this particular chromosomal type, Cohen modal haplotype, that is characteristic of the Jewish priesthood in a frequency that is similar to what you see in major Jewish populations. Cohen modal haplotype was found in nearly 10% of all Lemba men. That appears to be a signature of Jewish ancestry. Even more striking fact is 50%. This Cohen genetic signature is strongly associated with a particular clan in the Lemba called Buba. Perhaps Lemba is a distorted name of Levi tribe. So, this is all about another finding of 10 lost tribes of Israel in Africa. We will continue the search in different parts of the world. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like and share. Also comment about where else the lost tribes can be traced. The search is continue. God bless you.